this morning, having a look at the impact of the price of petrol on car hire. Shut up and drive. Shut up and drive. And the guys at the on-demand rental company Selfdrive.ae say that they are seeing an increase in people renting cars, potentially, instead of buying. We are joined by Selfdrive.ae co-founder and CEO SOHAM SHAH. SOHAM, it's lovely to speak to you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me here today. Very good morning.
Do you want to very quickly remind us of how your business model works?
So we basically source cars directly from the dealerships and facilitate the deal with the customer. We're a tech platform that basically helps consumers to get access to the dealer-certified cars. So the car that you actually go and buy in from the dealership is the same car that you can even lease or rent from the platform. That's how it is.
And you've got micro leases, so how short a time period can someone borrow a car from you?
So the micro lease starts from 1 month, as low as 1 month, going up to 12 months. And we have express booking that basically starts with a day or a week. That's what your demand. So as a platform, we do anything from 1 day going up to 36 months.
Okay, so let's look at what you are seeing at the moment. You're seeing a spike in people renting. Can you put some numbers on that for me?
So we've been seeing basically around a 30% hike month on month on the shift, a massive shift happening between people going and buying cars. There's also a shift because there's a shortage of vehicles, a bit of happening on that. So long waiting periods also resulting in the plus adding to it the recent fuel price hike. So this is a combination of all of that is resulting into the movement of people going in for on-demand renting right now.
Okay, so two things you mentioned there, the inability to maybe get your hands on the car that you want to buy, and also the fuel prices. If you were to split the customers you have between those who are based here and live here and those that are tourists, what would it look like?
So we basically, the micro lease, that basically the subscription model, we have around 98% of that actually going in for on-demand subscriptions. So that's a pure play number aspect of. So tourist is there, but that has a seasonality effect. Like we have fantastic tourists coming in during the expo period, and now probably we're looking at somewhere around post October, November during the FIFA period. We'll have a spike in that, but other than that, we're very stable to look at people who are actually the residents in the UAE are renting out on-demand cars there.
Right. What are people telling you? What kind of conversations are you having with customers about their rental habits?
So the recent shift, what you very predominantly noted after the fuel prices started going up, is people have kind of moved out of their V12 and the V6 of the engines and have started opting as a secondary vehicle, as a regular commute vehicle. That's a post shift. People who've been already leasing and renting out cars have actually started moving from big full-size SUVs to compact SUVs and the big size sedans to the mid-level sedans right now. So we've seen a massive shift happening on those demands in the vehicle here.
So people are taking smaller cars for smaller fuel bills, you think?
Fuel bills, yeah.
Is that impacting what kind of cars you're putting in your fleet?
We've already been strategically, looking at data analysis from our platform, and we've been actually looking at and prerequisitely making sure that we have all of these fleets very much ready. So if there is a spike in demand, we have the data metrics with us stating that, okay, there's a change in the behavior happening. There's a more compact SUV categories of the vehicles started getting demanded. So we already are working closely with the dealerships to make sure the stocks are really available.
And are you able to get the cars that you need if we are talking about shortages?
Yes, we are able to do that just because we are working with almost a consortium of 18 car manufacturers and almost 55 dealerships across the whole of the network today in UAE alone. And having said that, the amount of, even if there's one out of their two brands basically appealing the shortage or the consignments are running a bit delayed, we have other manufacturers still coming in between. So that's where it's getting countered off.
But you still need to get hold of parts and everything as well. Are you seeing your own costs go up?
We don't actually own these cars. So we are, as I said, we're a tech company. We help the dealerships to put these cars on the road directly. So we actually do not have the concerns of parts and things going up. Yes, the cost of the asset itself has gone up. So we have seen certain degree of changes happening in the in the deal size. But then this it's not as relatively compared to the way the cost of ownership has gone up, the cost of cars, insurance, everything has gone up. So we've not seen that significant hike actually coming on the renting or the leasing or the subscription module there right now.
Okay, so let me put that a different way. Are there any increased costs coming from the dealers you work with that you're under pressure to pass on to your customers?
Yeah, that is coming through, but that's purely because the cost of actually the assets itself has gone up. So yes, it is there, but the significance is not that much compared to if you have to really go and buy that car outrightly. So that's the difference between when you say about having car on demand, because it's pure play, the customer only pays when it's required. So the cost that is basically is very minuscule, that really is passed on to the customer as such.
Okay, 30 seconds before we let you go. Do you think this is a long-term trend? Are you buying more vehicles to deal with it, or is it a short-term blip?
This is a long-term trend for sure. I mean, we don't expect the fuel price to keep on going like this, but even for to surely would stabilize. But people realizing and pushing, having this understanding that, okay, it's better to have an on-demand mobility rather than having to have it outrightly purchased and hatched on into parking. So we see this trend happening and steadily growing. We've seen a fantastic growth happening and the market seems to be good for this today.
SOHAM Shah is the co-founder and CEO of Selfdrive.ae. Thank you very much for your time this morning. He says that they have seen a 30% uptick month on month in terms of people renting cars. He reckons that that's because of the increasing cost of fuel. He says that the size of the engines, the size of cars that people renting are getting smaller as well. Also, the inability potentially to get your hands at the moment on the exact car that you want. Let us know your thoughts, 4001.